and welcome to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I'd like to welcome you out to the shed of many names where we're going to have a discussion about saving your eggshells. Yes, saving your eggshells is a wonderful way to get calcium in for your plants, for your compost pile and everything. But a little known fact that most people don't realize, when you throw these whole eggshells into your compost, in with your plants, not many people know, it depends on where you live, it's going to take 1 to 3 years before these eggshells break down for calcium nutrients for your plants. It is so much better to do them the way that I'll show you this evening, and that way it's immediately available for your plants to intake. It mixes better into your compost pile and so on. Now, what you'll need, of course, is eggshells. Now, if you save your eggshells from when you boil eggs, just know a lot of the calcium from the shells goes into the water. So what you need to do is save the water. If you boil eggs, let it cool down, and then either pour it around your plants or into your compost pile. Now, you need to be very careful if you add salt to your water, because you don't want to pour it around your plants, because you'll end up killing your plants. Now, as long as you don't use a whole lot of salt, it'll be fine in your compost pile as long as you turn your pile, but it is best to not use any vinegar, baking soda, salt in your water when you boil your eggs. Now, your best bet, now you have to be very careful when you save your eggshells, because these are dried in the oven. I dried them at 200 degrees until they were completely dry, which took, it was about an hour and a half. No, it was about, because I walked away and got busy and come back, they were in the oven for about 3 hours. You want to make sure they're completely dry, or you will get salmonella. You will catch salmonella poisoning by handling them. Dry them in the oven, it kills the salmonella poisoning. Now, if you just throw your raw eggshells out into your compost pile, you also take a risk of adding or introducing salmonella into your compost pile as well. And we all like to dig our hands in our compost pile, turning it and everything. Well, you can get very sick if not careful. You have to use wisdom. Now, with that being said, I have my oven-dried eggshells, and believe me, they're dry as a bone. Now, the next thing, either you can get a new, this is a coffee mill, where, you grind your coffee in. Now, here's the trick to it. You can buy it new. You can get it at a thrift store. You can buy them at a yard sale, wherever, and as long as they work. But you're going to, once you use it to grind eggshells up, you have to dedicate it just for eggshells and doing bone meal, because you don't want to use it for anything else. It has to be a dedicated grinder. With that being said, we're going to load our eggshells in. And these are dry as a bone, so I don't have to worry about it. You've got to make sure that they get really hot and dry. That way, any chance of salmonella is killed. And I'm going to only do this so you only have to suffer once through it. out. You do not want to breathe that in. That can make you sick. You want to check. Almost, not quite. You want to get them as close to powdered as possible. And see, that's that you do not want any of that. You do not want to breathe any of that in. And carefully pour it into a jar with the lid. And now I'm going to bring you back as soon as I get them all powdered. See you here after a while. Okay, I'm finally finished. Not a bad turnout for that amount of eggs. I got 2 cups of pure calcium powder. Now, don't worry if you have small bits and pieces, that's fine. It will just be time-released calcium. But definitely, I've already cleaned up my surface and washed my hands. You still want to be careful when making your all-natural fertilizer. And above all else, take a marker. Write eggshells. That way you don't accidentally use this in anything else. Now, it seems like a whole lot, but it goes fast. Because if you think about it, last year I had 5 quarts made up, and I almost didn't have enough because, like I said, it goes fast. I sprinkle a tablespoon of the powder into the plant hole, mix it in the soil, and then plant with other things, because I make sure my plants are fed very well when I plant them. And mix it all up real good. And this is instant calcium for the plants to dissolve and use. Whole shells, it's going to be 1 to 3 years before they can get any nutrients out of it. Now this can be added to compost tea, into your compost pile, straight into the hole when you plant your plants, sprinkled around your pot plants, your potted plants. Many uses, many uses. Now, let's talk about when you go to dry them. Because I'm telling you, eggs stick like glue. So I used a full-size cookie sheet. I lined it with parchment paper. You can also line it with aluminum foil. You're going to want to line your cookie sheet. That way you don't have to just dedicate that cookie sheet to eggshells from now on. And then it also is easy cleanup as well. But you want to line your cookie sheet and dry those eggshells very well. Now, you can use the eggshells after boiling eggs, but they will not have near the amount of calcium in them because the water leaches the calcium out of the eggs as they cook. And like I said earlier, pour that water after it cools down into your compost pile or add it to your compost tea bucket. It'll be wonderful. Simple, easy, and I just wanted to do a shout out to help those that I've seen throwing whole, well, not whole, but you know, unprocessed eggshells in their compost pile, because the compost pile is not leaching the nutrients out of the eggshells. It takes a while. I hope this encourages you to also make your own calcium powder out of eggshells. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below. I will answer them as soon as possible. Everyone take care. Be safe and sound out there. Watch your back. Keep an eye on your surroundings. And above all else, keep growing. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Everyone take care, and may you each be blessed. I'll see you soon.